Hey everybody, ronarray here, and 0.5 has a lot of decent farms, so in today's video I'm going to showcase a detailed guide for Delirium Splinter plus raw currency farm. With the current prices, it can provide about 80 to 100 divines per hour based on the speed of your build when you have everything prepared, so it stays together with other top farms at the moment. The biggest upside for that farm is very flexible and cheap tablets. For the test, I've been using simple 1 divine tablets, but even if the prices of those tablets will jump, I will showcase a whole pool of possible tablet options. It's also very easy to sell everything because you're mostly going to drop raw divines and simulacrums. I'm also going to provide all information you might need to farm it yourself. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate detailed farming guides, and let's go! So in that strategy, the main focus is going to be farming simulacrum splinters and simulacrums themselves. Also, we're going to drop a lot of raw currency. That way, if you don't have rarity on your gear, try to get at least some. And at the moment when I've been farming that, I had about 97% of rarity. So keep that in mind because it can improve your raw currency drop significantly. Next up is what are we going to use in the Atlas, and right here perfectly we will need 200% Delirium cities. So for that you're going to get a grand mirror, apply it to the city, so for example Val city right here, and run those maps with 4 tablets. The biggest difference, like in the city you will be able to use 4 tablets instead of 3. So you can run the same strategy in normal 200% Delirium maps, like that one for example, with only 3 tablets. However, most of my calculations been done in the cities with 4 tablets instead. Since tablets are also pretty cheap, I think running those in the cities is going to be much better. So how to get Delirium Fog on the maps? When you're running basic maps with basic Delirium tablet like that, you will have a chance for Grand Mirror to apply nearby. It looks like that. Grand Mirror, when you're finishing that map, you will be able to apply Deliriousness to some particular set of maps. After it, you will need to complete a few maps perfectly around, not in the city itself, to raise your Deliriums for like from 10% to 200%. I recommend to start using like proper tablets and start farming when you have 200% Delirium already up, perfectly on the city. Now let's talk about the rest of the setup. As a master, I recommend to use Jado. Jado at the moment will provide unexpected missions, so you will need to corrupt your Waystones to get +1 additional modifier, and partial translation. It will give you from 0 to 40% increased effect of explicit modifiers on tablets. That bonus by itself is absolutely amazing and the main reason why you should run Jado for it. As a second option, you can try Dorianis. And for Dorianis, you can get a basic setup of volatile connection for cleanse chance, together with disengage safeties for irradiation, and get improved calibration too, together with some effectiveness from evolutionary pressure. But I believe that Jado at the moment just provides bigger bonus, mostly because partial translation is stacking too well with 4 tablets that we already have. And as the Atlas, it's pretty simple. The most important part is having Nemesis Rising additional rare monster. It's stacking pretty good with Delirium and going to help us out to get more rares up. Since we're going to run it in the city, up top I recommend to take Desert Mastery for effectiveness, and Faridun cities will be deserts. So right here Val cities will be forests, just because you can get additional bonuses from Forest Mastery for more rare monsters, and right here, like Izamite cities will be grass, because grass can give you some effectiveness to improve your general loot. The most important part is just those nodes and taking upper things for tablet bonuses, here, here, and here. The rest of the Atlas is not really playing much of a role, so right here I'm still picking effectiveness. I believe it's better than 6% packsize, even if packsize is stacking pretty well with Delirium. I just ended up with dropping more currency, especially raw one, while we had additional bonuses for effectiveness. In the tree of Delirium itself, you're just taking everything and getting like Delirium Fog spreads to +4 maps. That usually help you out to get bigger Delirium Fogs in general. However, both options are solid enough when you're just getting your fog up. Now let's finally talk about the tablets, and right here we have tremendous amount of options. So for the test I've been using very simple tablets that are looking like that and cost approximately like 2-3 divines at the moment. So it has map has increased number of rare monsters, stack size of simulacrum splinters, and the last stat may vary. So I've been using Delirium monsters in maps has increased pack size. That bonus by itself is pretty cool because more pack size is going to give you more chances to get better monsters and more splinters as well. And at the moment, just increased stack of simulacrum splinters about like 28. You can lower to 25 if you want to save currency, and map has increased number of rare monsters, you can lower to 29 as well. Up top, I have a choice, so Delirium Fog and maps spawn percent increase fracture mirrors, increase mirror shards, and increase pack size. At the moment, pack size is the least expensive one. As you can see, if you lower the numbers, some tablets can even go for 1 divine only, making them tremendously cheaper. I recommend to aim for one that has map has increased magic monsters if you have that as an opportunity for cheap. However, if you don't, just don't worry and focus on the rest, so like simulacrum splinters, number of rare monsters. If the prices for those tablets will jump after a video, there's a pretty nice counter to that. You can get rid of that set completely and just take the tablets with simulacrum splinters and increase amount of rare monsters. That way, there's tremendous amount of such tablets for about like 1 to 4 chaoses, and since there are like 4,000 of them, I don't believe the price for those will jump. Perfectly, you can still get additional prefix such as increased magic monsters if you like, so you can just add that to the search, end up with something like that for 5 chaoses per each tablet. Don't worry and try to experiment. Most of the time, just having stack size of simulacrum splinters and increased number of rare monsters is going to provide decent enough currency by itself, but getting pack size on top of it and magic monsters on top of the pack size is going to be absolutely perfect, so the tablet like that would be very good. So now let's talk about the Waystones when you have the tablets prepared. Here for example, my set of tablets, as you can see, it has like pack size, splinters, magic and rare monsters. Keep in mind that magic might be too expensive and you probably will need to drop it out to keep the tablets cheap. So talking about the whole situation with Waystones, it's pretty simple as well. There are practically 2 options how to craft it. If you have a pack size on your tablets already, I'm going to use chaotic effectiveness, chaotic rarity and chaotic quantity all together. For that, you will need to get a Waystone with 4 modifiers. It's pretty important to get 4 modifiers first and then raise it to 5. You click it with Orb of Alchemy, getting 4 modifiers that way, and clicking with Exalted Orb but only once. That way, we will have 5 modifiers. You will be able to use those 3 omens together. If it will be like a full amount of modifiers, so 6 modifiers, unfortunately you will be unable to use those 3 omens together. For example, if I'm trying to use it on that, as you can see, could not generate the mod. But when you have 1 modifier open, you can use effectiveness, rarity and quantity all together. Here's my chaos orb, I'm clicking and ending up with monster rarity 100%. After it, you can just click your Waystone with just last exalted orbs. That way you're getting item rarity or pack size or anything good. Your perfect Waystone is going to look somehow like that, about 100% monster rarity and some pack size on top. If you don't want to bother with omens and you want to save some currency, you can practically run just normal Waystones with high monster rarity. However, if you want to maximize your loot the way I did, I recommend to work on the Waystones at least a little. So, second option, if you're going to run the pack size on the Waystone itself, so you don't have it on the tablets, for example. For that, you can just off chaotic quantity and use chaotic effectiveness plus chaotic rarity. After it, just click the full Waystone with chaos orb, and here you have about 62 monster rarity and 26 pack size. It's absolutely perfect. So just corrupt it with wild orb after it, and corrupt that one as well. Corrupting Waystones is pretty mandatory because you're using Shadow and it's going to multiply your loot significantly. Just aiming with to higher monster rarity right here is going to give you more rares in the map. And more rares are going to drop more Simulacrum Splinters, improving amount of Simulacrums you're farming per map and improving your amount of currency you're dropping in general. So now let's talk about the profit. In about 55 minutes approximately, I farmed 10 maps and I stopped just because I think farming the one set of tablets is pretty representative to showcase how good you're dropping. In those 50-55 minutes, I ended up with 20 Simulacrums, which is, based on the current prices, about 54 divines just from Simulacrums alone. On top of that, I also dropped about 23 divines too, so that's going to be 77. And I also dropped 46 chaoses, approximately 6 divines from that, so it's 83. I also dropped some Greater Exalted Orb, I dropped some Orb of Annulment, Vision of Paradise, which is currently about like 5 divines too. So I ended up with about 90 divines, 85 to 90 depend on the prices, in about 50-55 minutes on farm. I think if your build is faster and you're clearing good, you can end up with up to 100 divines per hour. If not, you can still make about 60 to 80 divines in the most setups. And if you're not going to run it in the city, it's still probably going to be a pretty stable strategy, but obviously going to give less divines too. And Simulacrums are always going to be good in price, because people will try to farm voices, and voices will stay very popular later in the league. I believe that strategy will be very profitable too, since it's directly connected to Simulacrums and voices farming as well. So when you're farming the map itself, you will need to complete most of it or clear all the monsters, because all monsters are dropping Simulacrum Splinters for you. Perfectly, if your build is fast enough, you should be able to complete those maps in about 5-6 minutes the fastest. And even if you will go 7 to 8 minutes, that's still fine, because you will be close to 10 maps per hour. And right here you can see the modifiers of the maps that I currently finished, with magic, rare monsters. And here is the loot that I got. That's almost 4 Simulacrums in that map, 4 raw divines, and 237 Splinters on top of that. I think that's been a very lucky map, but most of the time you will be about 1 to 2 raw divines, and you'll get at least 1 to 2 Simulacrums as well. However, good maps can definitely look like that as well, especially if you get lucky with the modifiers right here. So I hope that video will help you out to farm more raw currency and Simulacrums too. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Ronarray out.